You would not believe the story I'm about to tell you. If you think your life is wild, wait till you hear about this girl, Saint Catherine Labouré. This girl, she was out there getting VIP access to Blessed Virgin Mary herself, and not just once, multiple times. So let's start from the beginning, shall we?
Welcome to Saint Stories.
Picture this. Burgundy, France, 1806. Catherine Laboure is born into a massive Catholic family. 11 kids. Can you imagine that? You know what that means? Chaos. But tragedy struck early. When Catherine was just 9 years old, her mother passed away. But instead of breaking down completely, she did something completely heart-wrenching. She climbed onto a chair, reached out for a statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary, hugged it tight, and said, "Now, dear Blessed Mother, you will become my mother." I mean, are you kidding me? Talk about foreshadowing. Fast forward a couple of years, Catherine is basically running the house like a boss, cooking, cleaning, raising her siblings. But deep down, she knows she's meant for much more. But of course, there's always drama. Her dad, not a fan of the idea. He was like, nope, not happening, and sent her to Paris, hoping the big city would distract her. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Instead, something completely bonkers happened. She had a dream, and in this dream, this old priest was staring at her, saying, "Girl, you've got work to do." She was super confused until later she saw a portrait and realized it was none other than Saint Vincent de Paul himself. You know, the guy who founded the Daughters of Charity, the religious order she wanted to join? Yep, he was basically recruiting her from the afterlife. Eventually, Catherine joined the Daughters of Charity despite her father's objection. Girl was determined. And now we get to the part where things get crazy. It was the night of July 18, 1830, and Catherine was deep in sleep when, get this, a mysterious child angel shows up and literally wakes her up. He tells her to follow him into the chapel. And listen, if a glowing kid tells me to leave my warm bed at the middle of the night, I'll be like, no thanks, creepy child. But Catherine, she follows him. She gets to the chapel and boom, the Blessed Virgin Mary is sitting there waiting for her. Like what? This episode of Faith Explorations is sponsored by our lovely Christian office neighbor Sharon. She offers professional and affordable eyebrow embroidery services starting from just $358. Worried about pain? No need. She applies numbing cream beforehand, making the process comfortable. And here's how it looks immediately after. Yay to waking up with great brows. Check out her work on Instagram at Sharon_meow. And quote Faith Explorations for 20% off your first service with her. Thank you, Sharon, for supporting Faith Explorations' growing team and mission. Catherine drops to her knees, and Mary, in all her celestial glow, tells us some heavy stuff. War is coming, suffering is coming, but do not be afraid because God has everything under His control. And she also hints that Catherine has a special mission coming her way. Just a few months later, that mission starts. It's November 27, 1830. Catherine is in the chapel just vibing when Mary appears again, this time in a vision that would change history. She sees Mary standing on the globe, light streaming from her hands, crushing a serpent under her feet. Symbolism? Check. Around her, these words are glowing. O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee. And then the vision flips, and she sees the back of the medal design, the letter M intertwined with a cross, surrounded by 12 stars, and the Sacred Heart of Jesus and Immaculate Heart of Mary underneath. Mary tells Catherine, make a medal with this design. Everyone who wears it will receive great graces. Let me rephrase that. Mary is literally saying, wear this and I'll take care of you. If this were today, we'd call it Mary's merch. Catherine, being the low-key queen that she is, doesn't tell anyone that she was the visionary. Instead, she tells her confessor, and before long, medals were being made and distributed. At first, people were skeptical, but then miracles started happening. Like real documented, no one could explain it miracles. That's this guy, Alphonse Ratisbonne, a rich atheist who hated Christianity. Someone convinced him to just wear the medal. And what happens? Boom! He has a full-on vision of Mary drops to his knees, and immediately converts on the spot. And that was just one of the many stories. There were healings, conversions, protections. The medal became so famous that people started calling it the Miraculous Medal. And the best part, this all happened while Catherine went about living her quiet life, taking care of the sick and the elderly in the hospice. Nobody knew that she was the visionary for 46 years. Catherine never sought fame, she just wanted to serve. And serve she did until December 31st, 1876, when she passed away quietly. No drama, no spectacle, just a quiet exit from a world she had changed forever. And then the final twist in this already unbelievable story. 57 years later, they open her tomb, and her body is incorrupt, like perfectly preserved, as if she'd just taken a nap. Now she rests in the chapel of Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal in Paris, the same place where she first met Mother Mary, and her legacy still going strong. Moral of the story, sometimes you don't need to be loud or flashy to change the world. You just need faith, humility, and the courage to say yes to God's call. And also, never underestimate the power of the Miraculous Medal. Wear it with faith and let Mary handle the rest. I'll see you in the next episode of Saint Stories. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye.